Yep, welcome back to Tyrion Cuthbert. Last time we started case 4. So we actually started case 4 in the trial as Ruby. And the prosecutor was Arya. But then in the middle of the trial, she had to leave because she was attacked this morning. But she was trying to stand trial anyway, but she like passed out or something. Kind of like a Von Karma thing in Justice for All, I think. And now we're flashing back. Oh yeah, and then after Arya passed out, Tyrion came to be the prosecutor, I think. And now we're seeing what happened before the trial from Tyrion's point of view. From what it seems like Ruby was just like manufacturing false evidence to get her to be innocent, even though she might actually be guilty. I don't know, it's not clear. Oh yeah, we also solved the children's riddle and learned a divine spell, divine edict, from this guy, or no, not from this guy, but from the artifact that this guy found. Yeah, these ones, the earrings of vitality. A lot of stuff happened, okay? Okay, what's happening right now, though? Okay, I have no text log. I guess I'm here. It really is you. Where have you been all this time, Beatrice? We've been so worried about you. Oh, right, you showed up. Really? It appears you two have much to talk about. I'll be taking my leave. I've known for a while, but I still can't believe it. You're actually marrying her, aren't you? You didn't leave me much choice. Ooh. Oh yeah, they talked about this in trial. These two used to be a thing. As a future king of Warvencard, I have responsibilities. I thought you would know anything about that. When did you suddenly start caring so much about responsibility? I always done what I had to for the people of Warvencard. Sigh, I barely even recognize you anymore. I certainly hope so, considering what I was like back then. I've always done what was necessary to stay in control, but what you're doing to Arya, it's... I know, but she's willing to put aside her disdain of me for the sake of Warvencard. Nine hells, do you seriously still not? Never mind, it seems that you're just as much of an oaf as you were before. And your words still have such a unique way of cutting into me like a knife. I oddly miss that. Beatrice just scoffed at that. Ooh, that was a kind of evil sprite. Oh my god, please say it again. I really don't want to. Come on, the look on your face gets better each time. Sigh. Hey, my fellow blonde, what's going on? Celestia started snickering to herself again. She started slamming her fist on the table, drawing some looks from the aristocrats nearby. Yeah, that was a pickup line he used on this girl. Life. I can't believe it. I guess any line will work when it comes from you. I'm just glad it's over. I look like an idiot out there. Hey, it's not over yet. You owe me a dance. What? Don't be like that. How often do we get to go to a party like this? If I had the chance to object, she grabbed my hand and started dragging me to the middle of the dance floor. Celeste, people are staring at us. Who cares? They're nobles. They're going to hate us no matter what we do. She took hold of my other hand and pulled me into a waltz. Ooh. Very cute. Celeste, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's easy, just stop being so awkward about it. It was easy for her to say. Alright, can you at least tell me what to do? Well, first, how do you know how to dance? You need to be closer to me. Once with motions, you pull my body closer to hers. Haven't you lived, like, as a mercenary and, like, in a backwater village your entire life? I don't remember being this close when I was dancing with Life. Yeah, well, I'm not Life. Watch where I'm going and follow my lead. You seem to know a lot about these things, yeah. I had to do a lot of networking when I was a mercenary. Did you? Do you know how many times I had to charm a merchant to hiring me? Sure, I guess. I see. I carefully watched the movements of her feet and tried to match them. After a while, we both fell into a gentle rhythm. I accidentally stepped on her foot, but she didn't seem to react at all. Was she being polite, or did she genuinely not feel any pain? You're getting it, but don't focus so much on where your feet are. Just look at me. What? Come on, look up. I finally looked up at her, and she smiled back at me. It was embarrassing being this close, but every time I avoided her eyes, I found myself being drawn back into them. Ah, there he is, the infamous Tyrion Cuthbert. He never turns away from challenging a noble, but he can't dance a step to save his life. I was starting to become lightheaded for some reason. Was I sweating too much? I really hoped it wasn't visible. Every part of my body was tense, but I didn't want to break away from her. There was a comforting warmth behind all this. Things were always different with her. I let myself relax a bit more and continued matching her movements. See, there you go. But what is it? You know the man is supposed to lead, right? Maybe I don't subscribe to the gender stereotypes. They're very woke. Or maybe you just suck at this. I've forgotten what it was like to get let go like this. It always felt like there was something to prepare for, a client that needed saving, a killer that needed catching. I've been so caught up in trying to learn more about the Eye of Horus that I was ignoring other thoughts I'd been having. I took a deep breath. Can we talk about what happened in Ornax? Oh. I felt her arms tense around my shoulders. It was weird, wasn't it? Us sleeping together? Or, I mean, I know we didn't sleep together, but I was nailing this. I was absolutely nailing this. No, I get it. I wasn't exactly professional. Yes, exactly. It was very unprofessional of me. Even if it was an accident, I'm worried that I overstepped my boundaries as your employer. Well, Ruby's my employer. You're different. Different? How so? Oh, she seemed to think about it for a moment before she sighed to herself. I guess you're the only person that doesn't treat me like a monster. Because you're a mage? Come on, Tyrion. You've seen me fight. I know you're just being polite about it, but it's off-putting, right? It really isn't. What are you talking about? Really? It doesn't freak you out whenever I beat up a crowd of thugs in an alleyway? Or how about last night when I ragdolled that thief trying to break into your house? I was honestly more impressed by that than anything else. Stop being nice about it. I know it's unnormal. Something inside me really enjoys fighting. I love it, but I also hate it. You're like Goku. Every time someone's seen me fight, they start looking at me like I'm some kind of bloodthirsty freak. Even my parents used to look at me like that sometimes. I still don't fully understand like how you do that. Because when we met you, the only spell you knew was that one spell to sharpen a sword. So are you just naturally like insanely strong, or is there some magic you're using that we don't know about? I'm really sorry if I ever looked at you like that. That's the worst part, you haven't. I never know what you're really thinking. You always charge headfirst into danger without second thought. I know what you're really thinking though. This whole kingdom is writhing with corruption. I don't get how you can be so hopeful and optimistic all the time. I really admire you for that, but sometimes it feels too good to be true. It makes me wonder what's really going on inside your head. You're really passionate about protecting the people you care about. When you fight, I see someone who cares deeply. You love the people around you so much that you're driven to stop anyone who threatens them. You make it all look so effortless. I don't think I've ever met anyone as strong as you. I thought you were always part of that. It's one of the things I've always admired about you. I saw a smile curl on your lips as her face became flushed. You know the truth about me. I'm not some idealistic hero. I'm just a dumb, traumatized kid who thinks he can save everyone. It's a very, very honest assessment of yourself. We both stayed silent for a while, simply moving to the beat of the music. Tyrion, I didn't mind being unprofessional with you. Oh, that's good. But only if you were okay with that. Would you be okay with things like that? Oh, I still wasn't certain about what she meant, or why she suddenly switched up to present tense. Was she trying to imply that she also wanted to? No, I couldn't rush forward before I had more evidence. I need to be tactful and vague. Well, I appreciate some level of professionalism in my work, but with you, or that is to say, that I'd like to attempt. That's not to say I don't not want to only be professional with you. I don't not want. What? Okay, Lord, I just need to say what I wanted to say. I've never felt this way about someone before. Oh? Question mark, exclamation mark. I don't know how to navigate this, but I want to, if you're okay with it. Could we try? I suddenly heard the footfalls of several knights behind me. Oh no, at the worst moment, too good a guest. Celeste's eyes widened, her lips pursed. Confused, I began to turn my head to see what the commotion was, but she just grabbed me by the chin. Hey, why don't you finish that thought first? Beatrice Frege. Did you just say Beatrice Frege? Oh, I think something's happening. Nope, it just tore him. Turns out he's just an absolute monster on the dance floor. Well, that just made me want to look more. By the authority of the Wyvern Guard crown, you're under arrest. Seriously, now? We should go see what's happening. Yeah. Oh, he's angry. You're completely out of line, Commander. He has the same sprite that Celeste does when she's angry. I thought I told you to stand down. You gonna recognize who you're speaking to? Aelaric, the Wyvern Guard. Age 7. Let go of Lady Frege. I can't really do that, Your Highness. Your Highnesses. As we approached Beatrice, we saw the two princes standing between the Inquisition and Beatrice. Your Highness, what's going on? The Crown Prince scanned the room. Everyone's eyes were on him. He leaned towards me and spoke in a hushed whisper. It's Willem Frege. He was found murdered in his study. And he's credence think that Beatrice is behind it somehow. Sorry, Your Highness, but my orders come straight from Steelwind. Lady Steelwind sent you. Beatrice cursed under her breath and clapped her hands together. I should go with them. What? No! My brother's right. They have no right to. You're causing a scene. I don't want to cause friction between you and Arya. She's always been meticulous. I'm sure she's just being careful. I'm sure I'll be exonerated once they've thoroughly investigated what happened. Okay. What? You can't just let them take her away? Brother, she's correct. It's not her place to interfere with the laws of her kingdom. But, however... Yes, Your Highness? Miss Beatrice is blind. One of your knights will need to escort her. She's what? Oh, he doesn't know? Oh, we're getting the same evidence. Oh, I see. Anyway, we're going to need to take you to a holding cell, lady. One of you should stay with her and gather true. Please, I'm not a child. Beatrice walked past the knights and towards the foyer. It appears that she already knew her way out. Shouldn't you all be following her? Right. Inquisition, move out. So why didn't Tyrion take the case? It seemed to just be my luck that a night like this would end in a murder. What the hell is going on? I can't believe they kept us here until noon. What time did you arrive? The Lord's Ball had already run well into the night, even before the murder occurred. I wanted nothing more than to catch up on my lost sleep, but I made a promise to the Crown Prince. After meeting with William, she was with my brother and me the entire night. She couldn't have stolen the sword of spell eating and have murdered her father. After her meeting with William, she was with my brother and me the entire night. Okay. So just say that. What do you mean? Just testify to that. Or you can't because you're the prince, I guess. I don't know. Of all the people that could have done those two crimes, why would the still one suspect a blind woman? Or maybe she did do it somehow. Someone was never one to abuse her authority. There had to be a reason behind the arrest. Not to mention that the sword of spell eating had been stolen. After what Harold had said about it, I was uneasy about it going missing. So when did the anti-magic field get put up? Because they said that it got put up after they found the body, right? That's not in my evidence yet. Mr. Cuthbert, could you defend Beatrice against these awful charges? I can be the prosecution if you want. I thought that will be necessary. What? Beatrice is Ruby's client. I'm sure that she'll be the one. She'll be the one defending her, right? There's missing a there, I think. Well, that certainly puts my mind at ease. What's wrong? I'd like for you to investigate the crime scene for me, Mr. Cuthbert. What? But we just told you Mr. Morwell. I know, but Beatrice is a dear friend of mine. I'd like every chance for her to be found innocent. She was a dear friend. They must have known each other since she was a Frega. But why would Miss Tamora, of all people, represent a member of her Pillar family? Life also seemed like she hadn't seen Beatrice in a long time. It was as if she'd spotted the ghost. I can't believe this. Sus returned to the ballroom. She changed back into her normal clothes. What's wrong? The people in the coat room said that they couldn't find my sword. What? Where did you put it? In the coat room? When Sus went to the coat room to change, she was told that her sword had gone missing. Someone else must have taken it, huh? Okay. See, once told me that it was forged in the Eastern Kingdom and crafted from the bones of a purple worm. Yep, I remember that. The bones of a purple worm. It was potentially very valuable. Did someone steal it? Let's keep an eye out for it while we look around the manor. This might all just be some kind of mix-up. I hope so. So, can we continue what we were talking about before? Oh, I was so nervous about this. I just need to tell her how I felt. How did I feel? It might be for the best that we focus on the investigation. His Highness is counting on us after all. I was being a coward, but there was a kernel of truth to what I was saying. Okay, but we will be talking about this later. It says at the crime scene, His Highness said that that's where he found the body. That's where the body was found. Here's my badge. Ah, there it is. Thanks for fixing my runestone. I was worried I'd have to buy a replacement. But what happened? Honestly, artificery is kind of fun. I kind of want to make something else. You want to learn how to make small machines? I was thinking more of a weapon. Be careful, making magic weapons can be iffy with the kingdom's laws. Well, you're gonna need a new sword, so it's a good way to learn. It's a good thing I have a pretty good lawyer. Ooh. A monkey. What do you think about this? Doesn't care. Okay. I'm pretty sure detect magic has only been used once in the entire game so far, right? Wasn't it literally only in case 2 when to see like that the twin had something on she had like necromancy cast on her? I don't think it was ever used in case 3. I might be misremembering. These chandeliers look fancy enough to be worth a small fortune. Banking houses are loaded, aren't they? Each of these tables has a centerpiece of flowers on it. To be honest, it kind of looks tacky. I'm sure their notion of aesthetic must fly over the heads of peasants like us. That's it. We'll go to the study second. We returned to the gallery and saw a legion of knights inspecting the crime scene of the theft. I didn't see Mr. Harrison anywhere. The Inquisition must have still been questioning him. Okay, the what were they called? The armbands of intellect were also stolen, seems like. The display case that held the armbands of intellect is empty. The display case is completely shattered. Interesting that this one is fine, but this one is shattered, but they were both stolen. The thief was able to do this despite there being several abjuration spells protecting it. Oh, okay, there we go. There are traces of evocation magic on the shattered glass. Evocation is a school of magic that creates and unleashes raw energy. It's the most primal of the 7 schools of magic. Someone must have used a powerful spell to blast this display case apart. Okay, I guess that's not evidence. No one cares. It's mainly a researcher. Okay, I already know this. What is that? I guess the dialogue is different. I have no idea. It's a painting of some sort of scientist. Supposedly his name is Dr. Luke Cuthbert. He's an alchemist and inventor from the nation of Arcturus. He's well known for his studies into imbuing intelligence into automatons. Intelligent automatons like arcane constructs? Von Sanctus was importing a bunch of them from Arcturus for his planet in Ornax. The technology for those constructs was probably invented there. The display case holding the earrings of vitality is completely untouched. Whoever stole the artifacts ignored it. Are these the only 3 artifacts here, or are there other artifacts that we aren't seeing that were also stolen? However, the Crimson saw the usual swarm of Inquisition Knights. However, there were also some members of the Kingsguard alongside them. They must have been working together since the victim was the head of a pillar family. I wasn't expecting to see you here, Mr. Cuthbert. I thought Ruby tomorrow was defending this case. Prosecutor Stillman approached us as we entered the study. She was followed by an unexpectedly familiar face. Have you already been attacked at this point? I guess you have, otherwise why would you be here? Wallace, what are you doing here? He's here as my aide for the investigation. I didn't doubt Wallace's abilities, but why would Stillman need his help? Anyways, we're here on behalf of the Crown Prince. He hired us to investigate this case independently. I see. I'm sure he just wants to make sure the investigation goes smoothly. Well, if you're here on behalf of His Highness, I'll do whatever I can to help you. This whole situation was strange, but our goal remained the same. Stillman should be able to tell us more about what happened. Ugh, what's wrong? The entire room is covered in traces of abjuration magic. Everything is glowing white. What exactly is abjuration again? That's the thing that was on the display case, right? Right, that makes sense. There were several anti-magic fields covering the manor. Oh, that, okay. Those fields probably left traces of abjuration everywhere. I won't bother showing you the traces of abjuration I found while we're here. Okay. Okay, and there's nothing else. There's a bookshelf full of books. I wonder what kind of books the Duke owned. Wait a minute, they're all blank. All his real books seem to be on the floor in his desk. Okay, that's pretty funny. There's a window that leads into this room. Could the murderer have escaped through here? Now, the window didn't open and the glass was magically reinforced. Okay. There's a large mahogany table at the end of the room. The Duke must have done this work here. Another chandelier. This room probably costs more than my family's tavern. Probably does. I don't think that's crazy. There are several books about economics and politics. It doesn't look like there's anything of note. Okay. It's a fireplace. Could the murderer have entered through here? That wouldn't be possible. The chimney is far too narrow. What about if you were 7 years old? Or he's not in the list of people. But I was thinking about this guy's brother. Maybe. Or what if you were a tiny monkey? Even a small child wouldn't be thin enough to fit through it. Okay. But what about a small monkey? It's a painting of some sort of scholar. There's some text on it. Rook Resingar, economic scholar and aristocratic accountant, was known in some circles as Rook the Cook due to his ability to cook the books of the 4 pillar houses. Rook the Cook. Sometimes I wish I could have had a nickname like that. You do, right? What about Crimson Demon? Yeah. Not that one. There's a pool of blood and chalk outline where the body must have been. Oh, that's it? Okay. I thought there was going to be more there. Here's my badge. Your wind soul is still in good shape, I see. Only because Celeste is really good at repairing it. You never told me you could work with the Thifistry. What happened to it? That's the second time we mentioned that. I just started learning about it a month ago. Really? What's wrong? It's nothing. How does she have so much raw natural talent? Guess we can talk about other stuff with you. You know about this? Nope. I was quite surprised to see you two at the Lord's Ball yesterday. Yeah, it's a long story. Clearly, you came accompanied by Beatrice Frega. She's the last person I expected to see that night. I sensed some disdain in her voice. Oh, she's jealous. I apologize that your investigation didn't lead anywhere, Miss McCoy. No, it's fine. My expectations weren't that high coming into this. But I still wanted to try, you know? If only I could have that much optimism. Is this the first time you faced off against Miss Demora? No, I've prosecuted her defendants before. I've actually had more luck convicting her defendant than over yours. Wait, really? I wouldn't let that inflate your ego. You're clearly more picky about who you defend. What's that supposed to mean? You didn't pick defendants that you're sure are innocent. I'm sure Miss Demora does that too. I mean, that's not what her job is. Not that I doubt his skills, but I would choose Wallace as an aide. Well, I have my own reason for choosing him. He seemed pretty tight-lipped about Wallace, but I didn't see any reason to pry. What can you tell me about William Frega? He was probably the most powerful nobleman in Barfengard aside from my father. My family's been at odds with the Frickas for as long as we can remember. My father's probably salivating at the thought of House Fricka losing its head. I wonder how Miriam's taking all this. I'm surprised that you're worried about her. Last I remember, she was quite furious with you two for tricking her. She may be a pompous jerk, but she still lost her father. And now her long-lost sister is being charged with murder. She must be going through a lot. What was that ... about? That was a very interesting ... Dylan, I really need to understand why you think Beatrice did this. She's completely blind, isn't she? You don't know her as I do. It just seems really difficult to believe. House Fricka has always tried by politically maneuvering around the other pillar families, and no one has embodied that more than Beatrice. In her years studying at the Imperial Academy, she didn't just excel, she dominated. She has an uncanny talent for understanding what people wanted, and she knew exactly how to use that to her advantage. During her first year, she had the ear of the student council president. By her second year, she had stolen this position from him, and she only gained more influence after that. It was long before professors were deferring to her. Students would seek her favor. She even had her aunt in the school board. Was she blind back then too? Like, was she born blind, or did she become blind at some point? In 4 short years, she had turned the Imperial Academy into her own personal empire. Is she even really blind? We don't know for sure, right? Because the only evidence we have was Ruby's statement from like the several medical reports and qualified chirurgeons. This could be faked, right? Ruby definitely seems like the kind of person who just fake evidence. I don't know. She's always calculating, and she knows exactly how to get what she wants. She was even arranged to marry the Crown Prince. Even now, I'm living in her shadow. What? Did something happen to change that? I won't speak much more of it, but there was an accident. She was horribly injured, and she lost her sight. Okay, yeah, there you go. I'm not sure what happened after that, but she later fled Frigga Manor and went into hiding. No one knew where she'd gone, and she ignored any attempts we made to contact her. Last night's ball was the first time in years that Aster and I had seen her. 5 years ago, I went to hiding. So the night of the murder, many of her friends and family members hadn't seen her or heard from her. And how did Mr. Moore meet her? Doesn't care. What about the monkey? Doesn't care. We somehow always end up meeting each other, don't we? Yeah, it's very strange. Well, it can't be helped. We work on the opposite sides of the same profession, after all. Although I am remiss, I still don't know much about you, despite your many meetings. Would you like to go somewhere together in the future? Oh. Oh, she's jealous. I'm only joking. I would never think of asking you out in front of your lover. What? Celeste is... I found myself stammering over your words. Over your words? What do you mean, over your words? Who are you talking to? Oh, that's a new sprite, I think. That's a new sprite too, I think. She's just smiling, like, strangely. Wait a minute, is this payback for last night? You're mistaken, Miss McCoy. I have no idea what you're speaking of. Oh, I get it. I'm sure I have mixed feelings about Aster hiring us. I don't. He's free to put his trust in whoever he wishes. He does admire you, after all. I have Horace beg to differ. He clearly trusts your judgment more than mine. He didn't even think to ask me. Tyrion, change the subject, please. That's pretty funny. What's your impression of Life Frigga? She tends to keep to herself, so I don't know her very well. After Beatrice left, everyone assumed that she would be the one to inherit House Frigga. I'm sure that was a difficult burden for her to bear. What can you tell me about the murder? Woman Frigga was found dead in this room after the lockdown was lifted. Wait, lockdown? What a lockdown? From what we can tell, his throat had been slashed open with a leather opener. The cause of death was blood loss. Both of his carotid arteries were severed. It was expertly done. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. Here's the autopsy report if you want the detailed description. Autopsy report, Woman Frigga. Died at 3:12 AM. Cause of death was blood loss. Okay, we already saw this. Yeah. Illusion magic, right? I forgot about that. Several scratch marks on the face and the back. I wonder if the scratch marks are from the broken glass that we saw at the exhibit. Like all the broken glass that was on the floor, maybe could have caused like all the scratch marks. Were you able to find the murder weapon? Yes, it was a leather opener owned by the victim. The murderer must have found it in this room and used it. There was one strange detail about the weapon. The handle was completely shattered. I'm not sure what to make of that detail, but it's as if something crushed the handle using tremendous force. Huh. A leather opener with House Fricka's crest on it. It must have been owned by the victim. Its handle was completely shattered. It would have taken a tremendous amount of force to crush it like that. Interesting. What could have caused the handle to shatter like that? I mentioned that there was a lockdown. When did this happen? You didn't notice? The Inquisition did try to be discreet, but everyone noticed the commotion Beatrice and the two princes made over it. I suppose you two must have been lost in your own little world. I suppose you two must have been lost in your own little world, weren't you? Oh. Anyways, you said that the Duke's body was found after the lockdown. Was the lockdown triggered when the sword of spell eating went missing? I didn't just go missing. There was clear evidence that someone had broken into one of the Harbison exhibits. So there was also a theft last night. Does the Manor's lockdown system behave like the one at the Imperial Academy? Why are you only mentioning the sword and not the earrings? Like, everyone keeps saying the sword was stolen, but no one is saying anything about the earrings. Oh no, it wasn't the earrings, sorry, it was the armbands that were stolen, not the earrings. But yeah, same thing. Does the Manor's lockdown system behave like the one at the Imperial Academy? The systems are somewhat different. Like the Imperial Academy, the lockdown only prevented people from leaving or entering the manor. Okay, so not individual rooms. So not all the rooms were locked, but what about the specific room? This room does have abjurative wards that lock the door and prevent teleportation in and out of it. In addition to that, the system placed an anti-magic field over the manor. While concentrating on the spell, the caster forms a 10-foot radius sphere that nullifies all magic within it. Any spell effects that enter the sphere instantly dissipates, and any mage that tries to cast a spell within this zone will fail to do so. Okay, but I assume that when this was covering the mansion, it was bigger than 10 feet, right? What school is that? Is that abjuration? Yeah, okay. While concentrating. Okay. The system somehow covered the entire manor in this effect. I'm sure you noticed that the several purple crystals embedded in the walls of the manor. I did. Each of those crystals produced an anti-magic field during the lockdown. I see. Okay, so that's how you cover the entire manor with just like 10 feet of radius each. What's like the magical barrier? Listen to this. It covers the entire manor in an anti-magic field. Within this field, any and all magical effects are nullified and disabled. However, anyone physically or magically connected to the sword spell eating would be immune to the effect of the anti-magic fields. Okay, yeah, so it is like I said. Because it's like double negative, and it like ignores the anti-magic field. Okay. So no one could cast magic during the entirety of the lockdown? Not exactly. Someone could have used a stolen artifact to circumvent it. Can you tell me more about the theft? Who reported it? After Lord Hurlson reported what had happened, the Inquisition discreetly placed the manor on lockdown. They searched everywhere. They searched every room in the manor to try to find it. It was eventually found in Beatrice's bedroom, and it led them to believe that she had stolen it. That's correct. The King's Guard moved to arrest her, but his Zionist ordered them to step down. It didn't look like she was planning on fleeing, so they planned to wait until after the party had ended. Man, we really missed a lot when we were dancing, huh? But then they found the Duke's body. Correct. We believe that she used the stolen sword to nullify the magical locks and break into the Duke's study. With the guard watching her? Or are you saying she did that before the guards saw her? If she had the sword, why wouldn't she use that to commit the murder? Yeah, that's what I said last time. We're not entirely sure. We have a few working theories. She might have wanted to prevent the theft from being tied to the murder. Or perhaps she had more confidence wielding a knife instead of a sword. Sure, that's not terrible. That's not a terrible theory. Regardless of her reason, it's clear that the sword wasn't a murder weapon. But she's not just being implicated in the Duke's murder, she is also being charged with stealing the sword of spell eating. But what possible reason would she have to do either of those crimes? And how could she possibly carry out all these crimes if she were blind? Since the body was found here, was the Duke locked in this room during the lockdown? Yes, Willem Frege knew that this room should have been secured. He was supposedly in a bad mood. He locked himself in this room for most of the night. He refused to let anyone into the room. The only person he spoke to after that was Laife. Okay, are you lying? Has he been dead for a lot longer than we think? He tried to tell our father about the theft, but he was apparently preoccupied with something else. He said that he wanted to stay in his study for the rest of the night. When did this happen? It was shortly before the lockdown was activated, a little after 1 AM. I see. Willem Frege retreated into his study and locked himself within it. He refused to speak with almost everyone who tried to disturb him. The only person he spoke to was Laife Frege. He told him about the theft of the sword of spell eating a little after 1 AM, but William didn't seem to care and returned to his business. Okay. Could be lying. Laife must have been the last person to see William Frege alive then. Well, she didn't see him, right? She says she spoke to him. That doesn't mean she saw him. She could have spoken to him through the door, right? I was already acquainted with her. She might be able to tell me more about the Duke's actions that night. By the way, Stolen, do you have a map of the manor? I do. Would you like a copy? Please and thank you. Oh, there's multiple floors, I see. Floor 1, okay. We had a map for case 2 and it didn't end up being that relevant. So I wonder if it's going to be relevant in this case. Study coach room. Okay, this is where the sword was stolen from. Storage, sitting room, ballroom, kitchen, bathroom, pantry. I assume this is the entrance here? Gallery, William's bedroom, Life's bedroom, Miriam's bedroom, Beatrice's bedroom, bath, rooftop garden. Is this exposed to the outside? I would want to go here. Like, can you like, could you jump off the roof from here? If so, then the lockdown system doesn't really do anything, right? Or maybe it's just like covered in glass or something, like it's a glass window. Okay. Women's bedroom is here, which is like over the pantry, I guess, and maybe a bit over the kitchen. Okay. And there's a lot of things to talk about. Were there any other witnesses aside from Life who saw the Duke down there? There was someone who heard the altercation, but it's not much to go off of. The servant was trapped in a storage room nearby. Storage room nearby? Here? Oh wait, are we saying he died? Okay, sorry, we're saying he died in his study here. I thought he died in his room. No, this isn't his bedroom. Sorry, I'm stupid. Okay, yeah. This is where the crime occurred. Okay. And that is right over the bath, and maybe a bit over Beatrice's bedroom, or under, I guess. So I'm just trying to get a sense of like which rooms are over which rooms, because this seems like not important, but I feel like this is very, very often used in mysteries when you get maps of multiple floors. Okay. The air vent that connects this room runs through that storage room. He supposedly heard sounds of a struggle through the vent. What did this witness hear? There were sounds of a struggle before he heard the Duke choking, presumably on his own blood. When the lockdown was lifted, he informed the Kingsguard of what he heard. He didn't hear anyone screaming? That's when they discovered the body. I see. Who is the servant? I believe you actually know him. His name is John Hughes. What is John doing here? I never expected to see him again, much less a hero of all places. Not Hughes. Did William Frigga hire him after he was let go from the academy? That's kind of surprising. Stone, I really need to understand why you think Beatrice did this. Okay, this is the same conversation. I already saw this. Do you happen to know why Beatrice was meeting with her father after all these years? I have some ideas, but nothing concrete. I was hoping you could tell me. Tamar and Beatrice have both refused to disclose anything about their meeting. What could that meeting have been about? Speaking of which, I haven't seen Tamar anywhere in the manor. As a defense attorney, I would have thought that she'd be here to investigate the murder alongside you. That was strange, but Miss Tamar has always had her own way of doing her job. Perhaps she was using a different strategy. Yeah, she's using a much more effective strategy of just lying. Anyways, I imagine she met with her father to request financial aid. What makes you say that? I have on good authority that she was deeply in debt. That seems so unlike her. Was she truly that desperate? That's the only reason why she would speak with her father after all these years. It's also why I believe she was the one who murdered him. You think she murdered him for his inheritance? It's the only motive that makes sense. There's a lot to work through here. The prosecution was trying to assert that Beatrice committed the murder. But what would she have needed to do to carry out all the actions described? We need to narrow down the time that the murder occurred. Well, it was after 1 AM and before whenever the servant heard what they heard. I guess we don't know when that happened. After 1 AM, but before... Oh no, what am I saying? We have the time of death. Sorry, I'm stupid. Okay, so what do you mean, when did the murder occur? 3:12 AM, we know. The body was discovered after the lockdown was lifted. Laffy forgot saw her father alive before it was activated. He entered the study and she watched as the lock engaged. Maybe. The murder occurred after... I mean, all of these are true. But after Beatrice's departure, I guess, you want? I assume that Leif's testimony was correct, but I don't think it was alive before the lockdown was triggered. Yeah? Not only that, he said he would sit in the study for the rest of the night. Which means that he probably never left the study. Yeah? I'm not sure what we're trying to say here.
Maybe.
Okay, the murder occurred during last night, you mean? I feel all of these are correct. I don't know which one you want. Occurred before... Occurred... during the lockdown, you mean? Okay, I feel like that was pretty obvious, but okay. Right, the murder must have occurred during the lockdown. That means that the murderer somehow got past the abjuration wards that protected this room. Someone in the Inquisition believed that Beatrice used a sort of spell eating to get past him. Regardless of what they think, we need to assume that the murderer used some kind of magic nullification to get into a room study. By the way, I was joking last time, but I don't know if I'm joking anymore. I think the monkey has a very good chance of being the killer. The monkey just snuck into the chimney and fucking killed this guy? It's not that crazy. We already saw a talking cat in the last case. That's not necessarily true, is it? What if the murderer entered the room before William locked it? Ooh. If they were in the room when William locked it, they would have been trapped here until they decided to leave. Not only that, they would have been discovered that the moment the guards entered the study. Maybe they were hiding. Maybe they used some kind of invisibility. Or they could have teleported away the moment the King's Guard unlocked the door. Yeah, maybe they were hiding behind the door frame, and as soon as they entered, they teleported away. The stream is enchanted to block teleportation. A spell like that wouldn't have worked. Oh, true. Right, I remember Miriam did something similar to her dorm room at the Imperial Academy. What about Celeste's theory of an invisible assailant? I'll admit that we did find small traces of illusion magic, but the moment the guards saw the body, one of them cast Detect Magic. With that spell, they would have seen any invisible people hiding in this room. But you can use Detect Magic like that? Of course, it's standard procedure. Like all spells, invisibility leaves traces of magic on the person it's cast on. Pretty useless then. So mages can use Detect Magic as a way to see them. I guess if you're not a mage, then you're invisible, but... So you know for sure that they weren't here before or after the lockdown. This means that whoever committed the murder used some way to bypass the abjurative wards that protect this room. There's someone through realm study, despite being protected with abjurative wards. These wards magically lock the only door leading into the room. They also prevent the teleportation in and out of the room. It's possible to temporarily nullify these wards with a sword of spell eating. The temporarily thing is kind of odd to me. Like, I would assume if you use the sword to cut open the magical lock, the lock would just stay unlocked. It wouldn't magically lock itself back after, like, a couple minutes or something. I don't know. The next thing to consider is the murder weapon. Where did the murder weapon come from? It was the leather opener was presumably owned by William Frege. The murderer probably used it to avoid leaving evidence that incriminated them.
What if...
Is this that simple? Okay. Right, the leather opener came from this room. Yeah, we know. That's what the area said. The murderer probably wanted to avoid using a weapon that would have implicated them. So they decided to use it and leave it here afterwards. That leaves a glaring hole in the prosecution's case. And that would be, what would that be, Mr. Cuthbert? What is flawed with the prosecution's case?
What if...
Beatrice Frege is completely blind. Even if she were somehow able to break into a highly guarded exhibit, how did she slip past the guards and enter the Duke's study? Furthermore, how did she locate the letter opener if she couldn't see it in the first place? None of it makes sense. Committing this murder unseen would have been a tall order for anyone. I can hardly believe a blind person did all of this. You'd do well not to underestimate her, Mr. Cuthbert. Look, I understand that she's probably really intelligent, but it just seems impossible. If there's anything I know about Beatrice Frege, she can turn impossibility into inevitability if she wants to. Well, I guess we'll see. Can I ask you a question, Mr. Cuthbert? What's wrong? What would you do if you discovered that one of your clients was guilty? What? I don't have an insight into these sorts of things. Is that foreshadowing? I've never been in that position. I've already seen your uncanny ability to read people, but why don't you humor me? What would you do if they were guilty? I suppose I'd withdraw and tell them to find another lawyer. Okay, well, you're really bad at your job then. And if no one else would represent them? I don't know. It would definitely be a difficult choice for me, but I would never be able to represent them if I knew the truth. I don't think I could stand by and let a murderer escape justice. Why do you ask? No reason. Because she wants us to be the prosecutor. Okay, so it really does seem like she is actually just a killer. And we're gonna have to prove it. Okay. Anyway, she made her stance clear. I still have a lot of leads to follow up on. Oh, that's everything. Okay. I got some more rooms now. Storage room. Went to the storage room, opening to investigate the hair vent that connected to the Duke study. When we come across a person lying on the floor. This case has had like 10 times more typos than all the other cases in the game. I don't know, it's weird. What? Wait, John, is that you? Oh man, what's with all the noise? I was having such a good nap too. Mr. Hughes. Oh, it's you two. We're taking a nap in the storage room. The Kingsguard won't let us leave until they finish investigating the murder. And I spotted Lucius Stillwind in the room with nice couches. No way am I sleeping anywhere near that guy. Lucius Stillwind was here. I'm surprised someone like him would attend the Lord's Ball. Anyways, the prosecutor told us that you heard the murder from here during the lockdown. Do you think you could tell us what happened? Also, how did you lock yourself in here? Sure, why not? My nap's ruined anyways. There's several boxes in this room. They appear to contain various cleaning supplies. It's an air vent that leads into the Duke study. Supposedly, John heard the altercation between the Duke and his assailant through this. Does this connect to the chimney? Or does this connect somewhere else? No, this connects like to a normal air vent, right? Okay. So both the chimney and this could have been used by the monkey interior. I feel like we've done this before. Sorry, did I already show you my runestone at the academy? I don't know, probably. Not that I really need to make a runestone that can instantly clean my surface. Any surface, yeah. Why wouldn't the attorney need a function like that? So you're working as a servant now? Not exactly, but I was a part of the catering staff. The twins started their own food business after Fred got threw us out of the academy. I thought they got hired by a merchant or something. Right, sorry about that. Things happen. I'm honestly glad I'm out of that place. Wait, are Valentina and Valerie here too? Nah, they just contracted some staff to the Duke for the Lord's Ball. I think a bunch of other businesses did the same thing. I wondered how they felt about this. They lent their service to the vermin who got them fired in the first place. William must have offered them a lot of gold. Man, I can't believe I got myself pulled into another murder investigation. Do I have bad luck or what? Look at us. The prosecutor told us that you heard the altercation through the air vents. Could you tell us exactly what you heard? Well, I didn't hear everything. I was taking a nap in this room when it happened. What were you napping here? I had nothing else to do. I accidentally closed the door when the lock was engaged. What do you mean when the lock was engaged? Before I knew it, I was trapped here. After a while, the sound of some kind of scuffle were coming through the vents. Huh? The lock just closed itself on its own? Like, what do you mean? We know that it's not the security system, because we explicitly said that the security system doesn't lock down individual rooms, except for the study. So you should have been able to leave even with this activated. So you must have just... The lock just did that on its own? It's weird. After a while, the sound of some kind of scuffle were coming to the vents. I couldn't hear everything, but I heard the Duke shout, "Who are you? What do you want?" Okay, that doesn't seem like something he would say to his daughter. Right? Who are you? What do you mean, who are you? That went on for a few seconds, then I heard the sound of someone getting stabbed. The sound of someone getting stabbed? How can you identify that? That's so specific. Did you hear the voice of the assailant? They didn't say anything, but I did hear them. Their voice was really raspy. I think they had a sore throat or something. They were trying to mask their voice. He took a nap, but it was awoken at the sound of some kind of physical struggle. He heard Fresh shout, "Who are you? What do you want?" After a few seconds, he heard the sound of someone being stabbed. You think... Wait. You think they had... Their voice was really raspy. I think that was a sore throat or something. They were trying to mask their voice. Or maybe their voice was raspy because they were a monkey. Think about it. Why did you enter the storage room anyway? The servants were complaining about the rats running through the air vent, so they sent me to take care of it. I heard one of them running in the vents upstairs, and I followed it here. I figured I had nowhere else to go, so I opened it up and put a trap down. After I was done, I tried to leave, but the door was locked. So I took a nap. The servants have been frequently complaining about the sound of rats running through the vents. Then I tried to track down one of them down and followed it into the storage room. Okay, that's curious. I wonder how that's going to be relevant. I only heard a few words before the murderer struck the final blow. It was a small piece, but a piece nonetheless. Either way, it was time to move somewhere else. Okay, I like how Beatrice's room in this manner looks one-to-one with Miriam's room at the academy. Come on, Tracker, where are you? Achoo! As I entered Beatrice's room, I was assaulted by a large cloud of dust. I mean, presumably this room hasn't been used in 5 years, right? So I guess it makes sense. Like somebody got in my eyes. Oh? Why are you here? As my vision cleared up, I realized that there was someone else in the room with us. Oh, Life. Sorry, I didn't mean to barge in. No, there's no need to apologize. Hello, fellow blonde. I really need to be reminded about that right now. Hi. I'm really sorry for leaving so abruptly like that. No, I understand. My eyes wandered around the room. I felt really awkward for some reason. It was probably for the best anyway. I had no idea what I was doing out there. No, you're fine. My feet still hurt. I'm sure with enough practice, you'll get the hang of it. I'd love to dance with you again. Most of the men who approached me during the ball seem to think too highly of themselves. I much prefer your company. Well, that will have to wait. We're on behalf of the Crown Prince to investigate what happened. Alright, we're wondering if we could ask you some questions. Our posture became tense, which was to be expected considering the circumstances. Of course, I'd be happy to help. Oh, I guess we have an argument with her, because that's the only reason we have this bar. It's a runestone. It's an attorney's runestone. It proves that I'm a certified attorney. Yes, I'm quite familiar with them. They're truly a feat of artistry. Miriam is one of her studies. She's always so engrossed in it whenever she visits. She never talks to me. Someone told us that you were the last person to see William Frigga that night. Did you notice anything unusual about your father's behavior? Well, he was extremely upset. I think Beatrice may have offended him during their meeting. The servant said that he demanded to be left alone. He retreated into his study immediately after Beatrice left. I tried to speak with him when the theft was reported, but he didn't much care about the missing artifact. He told me to leave him alone and let the King's Guard investigate the sword. Okay. So he specifically mentioned the sword. Okay. Because I was thinking like maybe the voice she heard was just a recording or something. But if it specifically mentioned the sword, and it still could be if like the person who did... No, how did that even work? No, that doesn't make sense, sorry. He's probably busy making the changes to his well. Now that was an interesting thought. When did you speak with him last? It was before they activated the lockdown. It was a little after 1 AM that night. To Life's thoughts, you know that he entered the study and make some sort of adjustment to his well. Do you have any idea what he was doing in his study? What? No, I have no idea. Life, is there something you're not telling us? It's important for us to know about your father's actions that night. I'm sorry, I don't know anything else. My father didn't share much with anyone, even his own family. I wish I could be of more help, but I really don't know anything else. I refuse to believe that's why he was killed. She's clearly holding something back. If I could reveal what she was hiding through an argument, she might be more willing to cooperate. But we need more information about William and his will first. This room is really dusty. Why hasn't anyone cleaned it? I've forbidden the servants from cleaning this room. Beatrice is very dear to me, and I couldn't bear to have her room disturbed after she left. This room was the only memory I had of her. She must have been holding on to the hope that her sister would return. It must have been 5 really long years. What about the sword of spell eating? Do you know how it ended up in this room? I'm not sure. Perhaps they knew that the servants were ordered never to enter this room. It seemed possible someone planted it here to frame Beatrice. Okay, I'm sorry. If she's never been in this room, she hasn't been in this room in 5 years, and you find the sword here, why would you even think to link it back to her? Like, she hasn't been here in 5 years. Like, and the room presumably wasn't even locked. Like, why would you assume that she was the one who stole it? I'm talking like from the guard's point of view here. What can you tell me about your father? My father was a complicated man. He was a brilliant aristocrat and businessman, but he was cold and distant father. I see. Did he have any enemies? As the head of Osfrega, he controlled every banking house in Wyverngard. There were many people who resented his wealth and power. Can you remember anyone specific? Perhaps someone that he'd slighted recently? There was Lord Von Sanctus, the ruling Lord of Ornax. Yes, I'm sure you remember him. His reputation plummeted after Draken's trial. Did it? My father took that as an opportunity to slowly take control of Von Sanctus industry. Okay, so we're like quite removed from case 3. It's been a while. From what I've heard, he's been extremely bitter about that. Things as tense as they were, I doubted that he'd get himself involved in another murder. But I could never be too sure. No one spotted a cat walking around during a Lord's Ball, did they? No, I'm certain there weren't any cats present. There were mouses, though. She was oddly confident about that. Yeah, why were you so confident? Do you have something to do with the rats in the vents? Is that why you're confident there was no cat here? Either way, it sounded like I would have to speak with him and get more details. I really doubted that he'd even consider cooperating with me. You mean with Lord? Yeah, I don't think he would want to speak with you. What can you tell me about Beatrice Frigga? I heard that she fled the Frega estate 5 years ago. Before she left, Beatrice was one of the most powerful mages I'd ever seen. She is incredible. At the age of 13, her talent for magic had even eclipsed my father's. But it's never enough for him. What do you mean? Before my mother died, he desperately wanted the son, but he only ever had daughters. Unlucky. But Beatrice was just as sharp as he was. She knew which tricks to pull to get the results she wanted, just like my father. Everyone thought that Beatrice would inevitably become the head of Osfrega, but her family knew the truth. No matter how hard Beatrice tried, my father would never acknowledge her accomplishments. He was extremely cruel to her. He constantly belittled her achievements and dismissed anything she said to him. And after the accident, he used her disability as an excuse to take away everything she had built for herself. Okay. If it's not too painful for you, could you tell me more about Beatrice's accident? Is it even relevant to the investigation? Any small detail could make a difference. I need to learn everything I can. I'm not sure about exactly what happened, but it was a magical experiment gone wrong. Beatrice was working on a project at the Imperial Academy. She was trying to create a new spell formula. We're still not sure what happened, but there was an adverse magical reaction. The resulting explosion seriously injured her and left her completely blind. That's what we think, at least. I can't imagine how she must have taken that. Actually, she was probably the most unfazed by what happened. Even in the hospital bed, she was still thinking of how to move forward. She was always calculating like that. But that didn't matter. My father saw his opportunity. He told me that he was relieving her of duties so that she could recover. But I knew the truth. He was going to take away her political power and social standing. He wanted to reduce her to a mere decoration for her home, just like he'd done to every other woman in her family. And that must have been why she left. Did she contact you during the time she was missing? No, no one had heard from her during that time. But as much as I was worried for her, I was also a little happy. Unlike Miriam and I, she had finally broken free from my father. Damn, okay. It's a highly extravagant band. It looks similar to the one in Miriam's dorm at the Imperial Academy. Yeah, it looks very similar. Almost one-to-one, some might say. It's a dresser covered in a layer of dust. It doesn't look like it's been touched in years. It's a table for guests, but like everything else, it's extremely dusty. Ooh. There's a trace of transmutation magic under the bed. Is this your sword? I can't see it clearly. Let me take a closer look. It's Crimson Lotus. What? It's my sword. What? Never knew her sword had a name. But this is where it's been. Why was it in Beatrice's room? She reached out to take it, but I blocked her hand. This was the room where they found the sword of spell eating. It's likely that the two thefts are related. But why? The only thing similar about them is that they're both swords. I know. We saw, like, it was glowing, right? Did it have illusion magic cast on it to make it look like the other sword? I know, but this could still be part of the crime scene. We shouldn't disturb it. But I'll talk to Tilwyn. She can send some knights to guard it. Okay, fine. So she's potting. There's definitely more to this, but what? So let's go to the courtroom exchange. You know, they found this missing sword. It was found in Beatrice's bedroom. It's also the room where the sword of spell eating was found after it was stolen. Are these two elements related somehow? I'm curious why it glowed. Because, okay, this is a big callback. But if you remember, all the way in case 1, her sword was evidence, and it was explicitly said that her sword was non-magical in nature. That was explicitly said. That was even part of a contradiction in the trial. So the fact that the sword was glowing when we cast Detect Magic means that it must have had magic cast on it, right? Otherwise, why would it have glowed? Because it's not a magical sword. Right? Am I crazy? I learned everything I could for now. It was time to move it elsewhere. Oh, okay, I guess I can't. I can't get the rest of your profile here. Okay. Let me stop here for now, even though this is a bit shorter than usual. I'll save here. You have something to do with the rats, because of what you said about the cats. You're just here. I don't think you have anything to do with anything. I'm still curious how you got locked exactly in the storage room or whatever, but it's probably not relevant. You are almost certainly the killer. I would be very surprised if you aren't at this point. Right now, I think that Celeste's sword had illusion magic cast on it to make it look like the sword of spell eating. The culprit probably just went into the coat room and was looking for any sword they could steal to make it look like this sword, and they just like happened to take Celeste's sword. I don't know why these are missing. Maybe the killer put these on to think of the perfect murder plan. The handle that was broken, I still don't know about that. What he heard about who are you, what do you want? I think that is very interesting. Because even though I think you're the killer, who are you is not something you would say to your daughter as she's trying to kill you, right? That's something you would say to a stranger. So which people on this list would William not know? You probably wouldn't know the monkey. He might not know Wallace. And that's it? Question mark? I feel like he would know everyone else on the list. Maybe he wouldn't know this guy. No, he probably would, because he hired him to display like his things at the manor. He would definitely know Arya. He would know Liafe. He would know Aster. He would know all these people. So it's the monkey, right? Or it's Wallace. I don't think it's Wallace. That would be crazy. Or maybe it was Beatrice and she was wearing some sort of costume or something. Oh no, wait. We saw there was illusion magic traces, right? So maybe she like disguised herself as someone else with illusion magic. What is her school of magic? I wish it showed people's like magic school here in their profile. But we only see it when they're talking or like when we get the short introduction when like when a character first shows up, we get like a little animation and we get to see what their spell school is. I wish I had this information in the profile. I feel like that would be useful. Because like if Beatrice knows illusion magic, that would definitely make this easier to explain. Now we have a lot of evidence. Okay, well, interesting case so far. But yeah, I'm done here for now. Alright, see you next time.